And I welcome you back to the Debritic channel. Today we are talking about Lake Oroville. We will be talking about the rain, the snow, everything that is coming to the lake. And wow, this is getting crazier and crazier by the day. It started with the GFS predicting a lot of rain coming in the next 16 days. And as we scoot closer, now the European model is starting to agree completely. And actually, they're saying that the European model is calling for way more snow, way more rain than the GFS is over the course of the next several days. Let's get into it. As we roll out to windy.com, we're going to start in the next 24 hours, and it's not a whole lot. We got a little bit coming over here by Lake Folsom, over by Grass Valley a little bit, not much over by Lake Oroville, 0.4. Lake Shasta, you got 0.23. We come up to Mount Shasta itself, and you got about 0.15, and you can see the whole state. Bakersfield, you're not going to get some, but just to the east, you're going to get 0.42. Is this new snow? It is a little bit of new snow. So all this is going to be new snow basically in the next 24 hours. We go to the next 3 days, and this thing really lights up in the next 3 days. So this is good news because this is short term, and the forecast can't go much wrong in the short term for the most part. Generally, it's fairly accurate within 3 days, and that's good news. So we go over here, we got 13.2. We come up here to South Lake Tahoe, you're talking about 10 inches. We come over to Lake Oroville, and you have around 16 inches. So we'll be doing a snow update probably on my next Lake Oroville video this weekend. That's what I'm thinking. Unless this forecast continues to change for the worse, I'll be back every night when it does that, so I can keep all you people that live in California updated so you guys are aware, especially for my friend Steve that lives in Yuba City. Hello, we chatted a little bit last night. We come over here to Crest City over here. You have around 15.8 inches. So this is going to be fairly snowy. And look, even over in the Colorado River system over here, it's going to be snowy in the next 3 days. Over by Telluride over here, you're talking about 16.5 inches. There's going to be a lot of snow coming into Salt Lake City. You're talking about 20.0. We come down here to Vegas, 0.6. So they have slowed down on that. We go to the GFS, and they're calling for an inch. So it's not quite as aggressive as it was last night. If you remember, they were talking about 4 inches of snow possibly coming to Las Vegas. That's more like it. I didn't think they would get it. Usually they get it to the mountains just to the west of there, usually not in the valley, but sometimes it does snow there. It has been known to. So we continue to scoot on to the next 5 days, and this really starts to grow. So now you're talking about down here by Mammoth Lakes, you're talking about 38 inches possibly. Let's scoot in a little closer here so we can see what's going on. Over at Mammoth Lakes, they're talking about 29, Yosemite Valley 34. We come down here in between, we scoot in a little closer here. You can see Fish Camp over here 36, and just to the south and east of Fish Camp, you're talking about 43. That's probably a hot spot. Shaver Lake over here, you're talking about 44 inches of snow, and we scoot up a little bit. That's probably the most in the next 5 days, and we continue to scoot up close to Bear Valley up here. They're talking about 26 inches. 5 days is really not that far out, and then we come up here East Quincy, they're talking anywhere between 16 inches of snow. We come up here to Lake Shasta up around here. We're talking about 17.4. Mount Shasta, you're talking about they could possibly get around 16 inches. We go to the GFS to see what it's saying, and it's definitely different. 26 inches over here. Mount Shasta, you're talking about 17 inches, so right around the same amount. They're pretty well in agreement. Where they differ is the 10-day. We go to the 10-day, and this thing really turns to a ton of snow. You're talking possibly 65 inches of snow here in Lake Oroville area. Oroville itself is going to get around 19.2, and then just to the east of that, you're talking about 65 inches of snow here in California. Wow, that's impressive. We go to the rain accumulation, and look at this. This is just insane. You're talking about 7.6 inches if this was to fall as rain. That is a ton of rain, and I am impressed. We go further down to the south here, and you can see that they're going to get anywhere between 4 and 5 inches of rain, but up here by Lake Oroville, you're talking almost 7 inches of precipitation, 7.12. We come up here to Mount Shasta, and they're going to get a modest 5 inches of what would be rain if it was to be rain. Eventually, this will melt. Yuba City, you're going to get around 1.92. Chico's going to get around 2.03. Sacramento's going to get 1.8. It's going to be a very snowy system. Luckily, this is not going to be a rain system according to these models. Let's hope it continues to be that way. And look at all the rain over here, the Colorado River as well. We come over here close to St. George over here. They're talking about 1.86 in between St. George and that 2.5. Cedar City 2.8. Kanab, you're talking about 1.89. Telluride, this is all rain. Although it's snow, this is what the rain equivalent would be, 2.7. We come down to Lake Havasu, you're talking about 0.64, and we come over here to Los Angeles, 5.1. Los Angeles is going to get about 3.9. Lancaster is going to get 5.0. My friends over in Bakersfield, hello, 3.36. Insane amount of precipitation possibly coming. You're talking about low after low. Let's go look at the GFS on Tropical Tidbits. Here's your storm getting ready to come in, and we scoot in here, and you can see there's a big snowstorm in the Rockies. More precipitation comes through here. A low develops right through here, and it goes up into the Colorados, and it kicks off into the Midwest. Here comes another storm right here. This is the GFS, and it kicks off through the central part of the United States. Looks like a pretty impressive storm. A couple days of dry, and then more precipitation comes through. Rain, snow, snow, rain. A big low pressure here at the end of it. So you're talking about 3 good solid systems possibly coming through, dumping tons of precipitation onto the Sierras, the Rocky Mountains, even the Midwest. Pretty impressive. There's a lot of snow up in Wisconsin and Minnesota as well, so we'll be watching this. I did lake levels last night, so tonight we'll just keep it simple. We will talk about just percentage of capacity tonight, so let's go check that out. We will look at Lake Oroville's inflows and outflows. This is linked below, so if you guys want to check it out. Trinity's currently only 32%, but you guys got to remember, somebody was asking about Trinity Lake, and Trinity is, there's a lot of snow locked up above, so it will come up. Give it time. It's very cold. There's going to be a lot of snow locked up there because it's cold and it's going to be snowing some more, so therefore not a lot has melted so far. Your inflows are only 1,018 compared to like Lake Shasta, where your inflows are 3,994. So you can see that it's just not a lot of melt yet. Once it starts to melt, you will see these bump up. Your outflows are 832, so that doesn't help either. So your percentage of capacity is 32%. We go down to Lake Shasta. You can see that your elevation's 992.99. Your storage capacity is 4,552,000 is your storage capacity, and your storage acre feet so far is 2,678,785, and that takes us up to 59% of capacity. You can see Lake Oroville was at 70% last night. It is now at 71% with 2,498,278, and your lake level is currently 825.94. It's almost come up a foot since yesterday. We're not quite there, getting pretty close, so that continues to rise. Your inflows are 5,228. Your outflows are 522. We'll go down to Lake Folsom next. Lake Folsom's water level is currently 419.77 feet. Your storage acre feet capacity is 526,112, and percentage of capacity is 54%. Your outflows are 4,131. Your inflows are 4,500. And that is all I have for tonight. Thank you guys for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we will see you on the next one. God bless.